I've made several of these kinds of videos over the last little while, but every single one of them has turned out okay. The thing has actually arrived in good shape. This one, well, this one I'm not so sure about. Look at this box. And yeah, the thing that's in here, it's heavy. It's actually quite surprisingly heavy. I was not expecting it to be as heavy as it was. And it's also quite fragile when you consider it's made almost entirely, well, at least the front is brittle plastic. Let's see if this box just completely falls apart when I... Oh yeah. That's not confidence inspiring. There is no packaging material in here. So I just probably scratched the top cover. Wow. This takes the cake for the worst packaging. Oh my word. This was shipped with DHL. Oh my god. Yeah, that cracked. Okay. Yeah, that's probably completely broken. Well, that's a shame, but I'm going to pull it out anyway, and I guess we'll see what happens. Well, jumping ahead a bit, here we are. And a couple of things. I found out why it was rattling around when I was picking it up. And all those bits of plastic. I don't know where they came from. I gotta be brutally honest, I have no idea. For some reason, there's an aftermarket battery, or there was an aftermarket battery, but they chose to install it to the case. So I think I'm gonna put that back where it was. Not that I think it matters. This is at the age now where it probably should be recapped before I really do anything with it, but I'm not gonna do that. In fact, I may not even end up using this board anyway. Ooh. Corrosion. Well, that's good. So this probably doesn't even work anyway. Taking a look at this is an interesting design because what this really is a Power Mac 5200 with the display chopped off the top of it. So you can see they kind of did some things a little bit weirdly in order to try and duplicate the design into a desktop case. So, I don't know what to do with all these bits of plastic. What I'm going to do with them for now is I'm just going to do that. And that should be it for, I hope, all the plastic that's in there. The side covers are actually in decent condition. Now, this is the top, that's metal. But the side covers look like they're okay. I mean, I don't know, maybe some of those bits of plastic came from the side covers and they won't go back into place properly now, but I'm hoping that won't be the case. But anyway, the cover over the logic board is actually intact, which is probably a rarity. Yeah, taking a look at this board a little bit more closely, I don't see any overly obvious signs of capacitor leakage or anything like that, but invariably they probably aren't leaky. Other than when you come up here, there's corrosion all over that transistor there. No idea what it's really used for. And then there's corrosion on the contact fingers for the actual board itself, which would mate with, I don't know if I can actually show this, that connector in there, which looks okay to the naked eye, but I don't know. I see another bit of broken plastic in there. So, probably going to have to shake this thing around to try and get all the pieces out of it. Um, yeah. So, in all likelihood, this probably doesn't actually work. I mean, it's not going to stop me from trying it. But I do have another board because I kept all the parts from the, or at least all the usable parts from the 5215. So if I have to, I can just reuse pieces from that. Of course, that's not going to really help me for the front panel, which I think is the part that is the most broken. You can see here, yeah, that kind of took a little bit of a hit in a couple places. And I can't actually put it back into place because, of course, it's so brittle that trying to bend that little tab is probably just going to break it. So I don't know, I may have to like duct tape that back on the front or something. I'm not sure yet. I don't really care how it looks. I just really want it to work. It's not like it's something that's hugely valuable to me or anything like that. I'd rather have the 5200, and I've got the all-in-one covered with the 5400 anyway, so here's the back piece. That must have been where it got hit, or at least one location where it got hit, right there in the corner. But other than that, this is in okay condition. Really, given there's no packaging in that box, like, seriously, that is all the packaging material that was there when I got it. It's just unbelievable the way that some people choose to package things. And I really do not believe for a moment that eBay's international shipping program had anything to do with that. I have a feeling that they, that was a seller initiative. So, I know that they open packages because, of course, they have to, customs inspection and all that, but I don't think that they had anything to do with the damage and the lack of packaging materials. So, I'm going to see if I can get some of the bits of plastic out of this. I'll put this back in, and then I'm going to plug it in, and I'll power it on and see if it actually works at all. And well, there you go. I'm not going to do too much with it because this isn't supposed to be a full video of this machine, but, maybe I might as well make it a full video of this machine. Here's a look at these side panels. And again, they look like they're intact. I don't know what they should look like. It looks like there is one broken thing right there, but the other one looks like it's intact. So I don't know. I don't know where those pieces came from. Unless maybe they came from the top of this. But again, well, maybe. But I'm not seeing it. So I don't know what all those pieces were from. Kind of interesting. Well, unfortunately, one of these broke off. Hopefully this is still intact enough that I can use it. Well, I did get half of it to go back into place. I don't know about this side. It doesn't seem to want to go in there for love nor money. And in the interest of not messing around with it out here in the cold, I'm not going to play with it too much longer. But, because life is short, let's go ahead and plug this in. I don't have a keyboard to use with it, so we're going to be without that. I lost the power cord. There it is. Okay. It's in. I feel like there should be some kind of plastic thing there that this doesn't have. Let's see if I can actually get that to power on. That's unbelievable that actually is trying to work. Oh my god. It is actually working. Even despite that corrosion. At least so far. Now, what version of the Mac OS is this actually running? I don't know. I guess I'll never know. I'll have to wait till I get a keyboard and a mouse. Well, yeah, that's unbelievable that actually works. Despite the corrosion that's on that. That chime really is the only reason why I wanted something like this, because that chime is unique. As you can see, I would wager a guess that this is probably no newer than macOS 8.1. And even OS 8.1 is sluggish on this. Of course, who knows what that corrosion on those bus fingers is like. I wonder if it's even going to go any further. Oh, yeah, there we go. Home hard disk. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff on here. eWorld Tour. I don't have a mouse. Although I kind of wonder about that because I used to have a mouse out here. I wonder if maybe I can find a mouse. Okay, I did manage to find that mouse that I was thinking about. And that allows us to see a little bit more details. Yeah, 40 megs of RAM. Isn't that nice? System 7.5. Which is probably roughly what this would have shipped with. At least to my line of thinking. I think this has... Yeah, this definitely has a Quantum Fireball hard drive in it. I believe it would be IDE. At least it was on the 5200s, and since this is the same architecture, it's probably IDE. But, well, yeah, other than the fact that there's a crack on this side of the faceplate, and the other side won't actually go back into place, I guess this isn't doing too badly, all things considered. I imagine what some of that plastic that was in there is probably supposed to be what holds this side in place, and that's why it won't go into place. But I'm not going to mess too much with it. I think at this point we're going to let it rest and let it be at its best until I have time to give it a more thorough test. And that's the end of this video. So, thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.